Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So I will be I will be waiting for you guys to pick up the notification because I'm not sure if it does notify you. So we will be waiting for people to come in and join this conversation tonight, which is all about your favorite F word, food for thought. Meanwhile, I will be browsing my phone and find out if I'm actually live. Okay. So while we're waiting for you guys to join this conversation or this live podcast, I'd like to greet everyone. Good evening. And I'm really grateful that we are having a better weather in Metro Manila. Although in my side of Metro Manila, I'm not sure with with the other corners of Metro Manila, but I'm grateful. So I hope you're also having a good weather wherever you are right now, or maybe you can post your location so that I will also know where you're watching from. And to those who are watching via replay, thank you so much for browsing and for dropping by. You can definitely join the conversation even though it's already offline. You can just post your comments or your experiences or anything that probably resonated with you during this podcast episode. I really appreciate your comments and your support to this podcast episodes. I'd also like to greet those who have been sending me recommendations or recommended topics about what we can talk about in future podcast episodes. I'm really grateful for you guys because I know that you are also like exerting efforts in sustaining in helping or assisting me in the podcast episodes because it's really challenging to be talking about, to be finding contents for our regular podcast episodes. So there. Hi. Ayun. Hello. Natawa talaga ako sa name mo. Pero sige, tsagain natin muna yung name mo. Hello, sir. Good evening sa'yo. Thank you so much for tuning in. I think the notification is not working. Pero thank you for thank you for joining. Again, to the live audience, welcome to my channel. I did not prepare any PowerPoint presentation because I'm having a hard time with my platform. So I'm using FB Live para mas para mas madali, tsaka para mas nanonotify yung audience because I was told that there is no notification during podcast episodes. So hopefully now that we are using FB, sana maayos na yung signal. Hello there. Watching from Pampanga with FO1 Arthur Mendoza and FO1 Neil Virgil Castulo Calintas. Good evening po sa inyong lahat dyan. Shout outs to all our bomberong swabbers. Thank you so much for tuning in and for constantly supporting my channel. And of course, if you have any recommended topics, please post them. Or you can also send me a private message. And kasi ang dami talagang mga topics. Kaya lang, yung iba, I'm not yet comfortable to talk about it. And also, I'm not a professional. Kasi maraming mga I'm not a professional about that particular topic. For example, maraming nagre-request ng mental health. Ayan, may mga nagre-request pa nga ng mga annulment, divorce. Ayan, kailangan natin ng speaker for that. So, batiin natin yung mga nanonood. Tawang-tawa ako. Ano ba yung Yaya Bunel na yun? Hello, Pao. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hello, hello. Watching from watching from Hi Doc, good evening. Ano yun? Kung ano naisip mo, Sir Joseph, in fairness. Hello po, Sir Jun Maroon. Thank you so much for tuning in. Ayan, so our topic for tonight is your favorite F word, and we are going to talk about food for thoughts. So, the first thing the inspiration about this topic for tonight is about what do we feed? Okay, what do we feed our minds? Kasi 'di ba, we are so conscious about what we eat. We are so conscious about our physical fitness, but nobody ever thought about, or siguro meron din naman, pero we are not too particular or we are not too keen on it when we talk about mental fitness. So, pag-uusapan natin ngayon is just more about yung mga dapat na mga thoughts na iniisip natin instead of dwelling on the things na hindi dapat natin masyadong pinagtutuunan ng pansin. Ano to? Doc, of course, I know you anywhere. Good evening po, ma'am. Masaya po, Sir Marin, kasi nabalik na po FB account niya. Hello. Oo nga. Hello, Sir Mendoza. Thank you so much for tuning in. Ayan. In fairness, mas maayos yung FB Live kasi mabilis nga ma-pick up yung notification compared to yung third party platform. Pag mga third party talaga hindi nag-workout. Ayan. Ay, sorry. Bubusina tayo. Okay. So, again, yan. What do we feed our minds? Parang may matatawa sa akin dyan sa audience. Okay. So, what do we feed our minds? Because we are constantly feeding our minds with thoughts every single day. According to some studies, we are processing 60,000 thoughts per day. 60,000, just imagine. Kasi syempre nga naman, pagising mo pa lang sa umaga, wala kang ibang gagawin muna, kundi mag-isip muna kung babagon ka ba or hindi. So that's just one of the 60,000. So hindi ko alam kung tama ba ang 60,000, pero 'di ba, pagka marami tayong thoughts talaga every single day. Kahit na sabihin natin 10,000, marami pa rin yun. Kahit sabihin natin 100, marami pa rin yun. And usually, the thoughts that we are thinking about, we are not too keen on it. Like, we are already allowing the thoughts. Hinahayaan lang talaga natin yung thoughts natin. And sometimes, our thoughts dominate our minds. Instead na tayo ang nagko-control sa thoughts natin, ang nangyayari, baliktad, yung thoughts ang nagko-control sa atin. Instead of us controlling the thoughts. So, tonight, we are going to talk about how do we really think about our thoughts. Tama ba? Sabi ko, how do we really manage our thoughts? Ayan. Hello, Sir Lawrence. Like this topic, more on negative thoughts kasi ako. Actually, I'll pick that up kasi hindi ko to ginagawa dahil puro positive yung thoughts ko. Okay? Ever since I was young, I've always had constant negative thoughts. Contrary to what I'm always saying na stay positive. When I was younger, I always had negative thoughts. And focusing on positive thoughts does not mean that I don't ever have negative thoughts. Actually, to be quite honest about it, marami din akong naiisip na negative thoughts on a daily basis. It can be work-related, it can be family-related, it can be personal. Yung mga personal ko lang na pinagdadaanan every single day. So, hindi ibig sabihin na puro positive thoughts lang talaga yung naiisip ko. But the thing is, I'm mindful about my thoughts. So, nalilabel ko sila. So, for example, naisip ko at this very moment, nakakahiya, madaming nanonood, ililabel ko siya. Positive thought ba yon or negative thought ba yon? So for me, it's a negative thought kasi I should not be nahihiya kasi I'm not doing this for myself. Kung ginagawa ko to para sa sarili ko lang, I would probably not do this anymore. But since I'm doing this for a bigger cause, helping people up, helping people think of positive thoughts, kung may pinagdadaanan naman kayo ngayon, somehow mais yung burden, then that's for me. Yun yung pinaka-purpose ng podcast episodes. But to tell you honestly, again, I'm not telling you that I don't have negative thoughts. I also have them. Kaya lang, it's really being mindful of pinpointing, no? Kinakategorize ko yung thoughts ko. Is it positive? Okay, positive thought siya. Is it a negative thought? So, ganon. So, that's why we are talking about food for thoughts tonight para mas ma-encourage pa tayo na alamin natin ano nga ba yung mga positive thoughts na dapat nating ilalagay sa isip natin or dapat nating mag-focus tayo ng energy. Okay, simulan natin sa courage. Okay, courage is a food for thought that we always... Wait lang, nawala yung tsinelas ko. Na-conscious ako sa tsinelas ko. Okay, so, courage. What do we mean by courage? Sabi nga, di ba, courage is not the absence of fear. It is actually doing something even though you are afraid. So, courage, pag sinabi kasing courage, hindi naman ito yung parang dapat superhero ka, ganyan. Hindi naman ganun eh. Maraming... ano ba, Sir Joseph? Kailangan may tagline ka ngayon. So, mga isang buwan kong tsatsagain yan. yung tagline mo. Okay. So, when we think about courage, actually, ang akala nating lahat, kailangan pag-courage ka. Di ba pag-courage kasi parang, ang translation yata ng courage is tapang or katapangan. And when we are matapang, feeling natin, or siguro yung nakagis na natin, pagka matapang ka, wala kang kinatatakutan. Actually, courage is not like that. Courage is about doing something even though you are scared. Okay, I'll give you an example, and I will always use this as a constant example because I feel like medyo malaki na yung naging improvement ko ever since I was a youngster compared to, today. Okay, bukod sa mas na-build up ko na yung confidence ko compared noon, no? But when I was in college, I almost fainted in my public speaking class, and I thought during that time, maybe I will not be an effective public speaker because I almost failed. No, I almost failed my public speaking class, which is actually a major subject in my course. And so, I thought that I will not be able to make it. But sabi ko, hindi eh. Kahit na anong gawin ko, hindi ko pwedeng tanggalin yung public speaking sa work ko. Kasi yung work ko is sales. So, I would always talk to people and there will come a time that I will talk to a crowd. So, public speaking is really something that I need to work on. And then, paulit-ulit ko siyang ginagawa. And you know what? I've spoken to 10 people in the room. I've spoken to thousands of people in a room. And do I still feel scared when I'm talking to people just like now? Well, the answer is yes. But the thing is, I still do it. Kasi it's not fear that should define my actions. It's my courage to do something which is far bigger than my fears. And what's far bigger than my fear right now is to be able to help people and to be able to shed some light. Kung may mga tao ngayon, nandyan ka, nanonood ka, na baka dumadaan ka sa madilim, somehow, ito yung bigger purpose ko na makapagdala ng liwanag kahit paano, kahit medyo madilim dito. Literal nakalimutan ko yung ilaw sa sala. Pero 'di ba, makapagdala ako somehow ng liwanag dun sa mga taong kailangan yon at this moment. So, if your purpose is bigger than your fear, you actually do it. 'Di ba? Another example of courage. 'Di ba lagi nating sinasabi, hindi natin kayang mag-jogging ng every single day. Pero what if, 'di ba? What if ang purpose ng pagjo-jogging natin is makaka-save ka ng buhay ng ibang tao? Will you not do it? You will, 'di ba? Kahit na sa tingin mo hindi mo kaya. Because again, your fears is smaller than your purpose. So, courage is something that we should always have in our thoughts, whether it's at work, whether it's ano ba Sir Joseph, tawang-tawa talaga ako dun sa tagline mo. Dapat iswipe ko. Okay? So, Sir Jaguar, thoughts are normal to come. The challenging part is how to handle them. That's true. Totally true. Okay. So, ayun. So, if you will focus on a bigger purpose, hindi naman makakalimutan, but isasantabi mo, you You will take fear for granted because you know that you are working towards a bigger purpose. So if you are not courageous at this moment, my question is, isn't your purpose bigger than your fear? Mas malaki ba yung takot mo kaysa sa purpose mo? Kaya ayaw mong kumilos. Pero kung mas malaki yung purpose mo versus sa fear mo, then definitely, it'll make a lot of sense if you are fighting for it even though you are afraid. Okay? Next is spreading positivity. There were so many times in my life when I felt so down. Okay, siguro na-share ko na to sa mga previous episodes ko sa podcast, and siguro na isulat ko na rin to sa personal Facebook page ko or even dito sa channel ko. There were so many times that I felt so negative about things around me. And one of the things that really lifts me up, okay, I'm not sure if this will also work for you, but one of the things that really lifts me up is when I lift other people up. Sinasabi tuloy, tinitingnan ko yung mga tao sa paligid ko at tinatry kong tulungan sila kahit na ako mismo kailangan ko ng tulong. I'm not saying this because it's a noble thing, but I'm doing it because I believe that we rise by lifting others. And spreading positivity is one of those ways to lift other people up. And so I was told several times na I have a gift of speaking or speech. Sabi nung may dalawa kong mentors nagsabi sa akin, alam mo yung pagsasalita, it's a gift. Not everybody can talk or not everybody knows how to use their voice, and you have a voice. So, what can you do with that? Since mukha namang nakakapag-spread ka ng positivity, why don't you use your voice to spread positivity? And I was like, oh yeah, that's true. But what if ako mismo yung negative? Sabi niya, well, maraming mentors ko nagsabi nito, well, that's exactly why you need to help other people up. Because that's one of the ways where you can also lift yourself up. Kapag nakita mo na may napasaya kang ibang tao, napansin mo ba? Kapag may napasaya kang ibang tao, parang ang sarap din sa pakiramdam. Kahit na ikaw broken-hearted ka, naghiwalay kayo ng boyfriend o girlfriend mo, or may pinagdaanan ka, hindi ka na-promote, kung ano man. Whether it's personal or professional life. Pero pagka may napasaya kang isang tao, di ba, punta ka sa kalsada, punta ka sa labas, try mo kung may mapasaya ka dyan. Pag may ngumiti sa'yo, di ba masarap sa pakiramdam? Well, that's because spreading positivity, again, it's a noble thing to do, not only for you, but for other people. Kapag nakapagpasaya ka ng ibang tao, parang automatic siyang merong masarap na pakiramdam. Meron kang nasasatisfy na feeling somewhere in your thoughts and in your heart, di ba? Sometimes, from Ma'am Nita, sometimes you do not mind your fears if you're on selfless service to someone. That's true. Thank you, Ma'am Nita. Thank you. Ma'am Kla, you're absolutely right, Ma'am Ice. Thank you, Ma'am Kla. Doc Iya. Agree ka today. Actually, lagi ka namang agree sa akin eh. Paminsan-minsan kumontra ka din. We always have the same wavelength. Oh, ayan, speaking of wavelength, also find people when you are exploring on your thoughts, lalong-lalo na kung mainit yung ulo mo, masama yung mga naiisip mo sa mga bagay-bagay, talk to someone who can also lift you up. Kasi yan, kagay. Ang dami kong friends na nanonood tonight. Hello sa inyo. Okay, thank you for tuning in. Okay, so again, spreading positivity. If you cannot spread positivity, then hang out with people who can lift you up. Kasi again, it's a job, you know. It's a job talaga. It's a task. It's not an easy task to be lifting somebody else up. Well, at least kay Heidelin, kaya niya. Sa ating Olympic medalist, Olympic gold medalist, kaya niya magbuhat. Okay? Kaya niya magbuhat ng 200 plus pounds ba yun? Pero tayo kasi, di ba, yung mag-lift ng other people, lifting ng spirits naman yung ginagawa natin, it's not an easy task. So if you need to lift yourself up, edi maghanap ka din ng tao na pwede mag-inspire sa'yo or pwede mag-motivate sa'yo or pwede kang pumunta dito sa channel ko, panoorin mo yung mga podcast episodes. Kasi baka yung mga hinahanap mong sagot, mahanap mo in other ways. Di ba? Let's read comments. Thank you po sa mga comments. Medyo marami-rami po sila. Doc, I am you, you are me. I know, right? You're my younger self. In mental health problem, you don't know the experiences of individuals. For normal, it seems easy to control thoughts, but for those accumulated fears where thoughts pin down people's, excuse me, it's a serious thing. That's true. Okay, magde-disclaimer po tayo. Thank you so much, Sir Jaguar. Sa mga nanonood po, if you feel na sobrang heavy talaga yung mga thoughts ninyo at hindi na madadaan sa mga simpleng usap, you have to talk to a professional. I believe meron po sa audience na mga pros that you can talk. Also, kung meron pong willing po mag-extend ng counseling session, pwede po kayo mag-post dyan sa comment section natin para kung merong gusto pong mag-seek ng professional advice, then they can reach out to you. Okay, kasi ako, I'm not a professional who can talk to you about mental health. I'm here whose main goal is to spread positivity, but when it comes to really serious health problems, whether physical or mental health, you have to talk to a professional. Just like when you're buying a house, you talk to a real estate broker. Yan, segue ko talaga, di ba? Okay. Kasi parang maraming nanonood ng real estate broker. Hello po, kaway-kaway sa mga nanonood ng real estate broker. I saw your pictures. Thank you for tuning in. I have always been telling... Okay, nawawala. Ayan. From Amnita, I have always been telling people to be positive always and never invite negativity because it will turn all things well. Masaya na makatulong ka sa iba in my door in the office telling to smile before you enter. That's the reason na kahit di maganda ang araw ko, nakasmile pa rin ako na humaharap. Yes, that's true. Actually, smiles mean a lot. I mean, I smile a lot. Ayun. In person, I smile a lot. Kahit na sa podcast, kahit na in person. Mahilig talaga akong ngumiti. Kahit na wala naman talagang kangiti-ngiti. Mapalangiti ako. Pero that's because, aside from you never know kung sino yung matutulungan mo sa pag-smile mo, it also helps your muscles relax, yung facial muscles, lalong-lalo na pag nagkakaedad na tayo. Pinasage ko talaga yung face ko. Parang ngayon ko lang naramdaman ulit yung face ko. Ayan. So, maganda pag gumingiti tayo kasi namamassage, na-stretch yung facial muscles natin para hindi tayo magka-wrinkles agad. Ano po to? Negative people will never be positive. From Sir Errol. Thank you so much, Sir Aquino. Yeah, may mga negative thinkers. Mahirap silang i-convert into positive. One of the things that I also encounter, kasi when I'm teaching stress management, sabi nila, ma'am, paano i-convert yung negative thinkers to become positive thinkers? The answer is, it's not up to you to change them. Kasi it's really up to them to change themselves. Pero syempre, if lagi-lagi kang kasama, baka sakaling ma-influence mo. Kasi, di ba, kung lagi-lagi kang kasama. I remember being told I'm annoyingly positive. It's so hard daw to be negative thinking whenever they're with me. Kasi nga, parang lahat ng problema, for me, parang lagi kong ginagawa ng solusyon or lagi kong hinahanapan ng solusyon. But that's because I believe that if there's a problem, there's always a solution. Yun naman lagi yung iniisip ko. So, even though negative thoughts come to my head, minsan nga hindi rin ako makatulog kasi yung dami-dami kong negative na iisip. Pero marami din kasing solution to that. Okay, and one of those is actually praying. O yan. Hindi po ako religious. Yan, matagal ko nang paulit-ulit sinasabi sa podcast episodes ko na hindi po ako religious, pero I pray a lot and I don't pray Ayan, speaking of, sunod ko na nga, sa food for thought natin, is praying or faith. Okay, so for me, I pray not because I'm good, not because I'm perfect, not because I'm flawless, but I pray because I want the prayer to change me. Kasi minsan nagdadasal tayo, kasi maraming dahilan ba tayo nagdadasal, di ba? And I'm not saying this, again, I'm not saying this as a religious person. No? I'm saying this from a person who personally experienced what praying is all about. And I've personally experienced miracles in my life. Maraming dyan ng mga nanonood sa mga friends ko. Alam nila to, yung mga pinagdaanan ko sa buhay ko at sa family ko na talagang marami akong na-witness na miracles. And again, I don't pray because I'm perfect. Kasi nga, di ba, ang prayer, it's not really, ano ba tawag doon? Basta prayer is actually a relationship with your superior being, kung ano man yung tawag niyo sa superior being ninyo, sa creator ninyo, di ba? So let's call it, for the purpose of this conversation, let's call him God. And prayer is connecting myself to God, and I'm lifting myself to God. And as I've mentioned earlier, may mga gabi din na sleepless nights, lalong-lalo na pagka maraming maraming deliverables, marami akong wino-worry, lalong-lalo na ngayon, nag-lockdown na naman, so parang panibagong stress na naman. And yet, what can I do, diba? So pray. And I pray not because I want things to change. Sometimes prayers change us and how we deal with situations. Okay? Hindi lahat ng oras yung panalangin natin is para baguhin natin yung mga bagay-bagay. Minsan yung panalangin natin, yun actually ang dahilan kung bakit nagbabago yung pananaw natin sa mga bagay-bagay sa paligid natin. I hope that made sense. And of course, I will do my best to invite someone really spiritual para mas mapag-usapan to kasi I'm so passionate about this. And again, we don't pray because we're perfect. We pray because we want to be changed, or we want things to change for us. Okay, from Ma'am Kla, always wake up with a smile knowing that today you are going to have fun accomplishing what others are afraid to do. Ma'am Kla, I love that. Thank you. Ma'am Narissa, good evening ma'am, watching here from Bar. Good evening po, thank you so much for tuning in. Kamusta po ang weather dyan at ang lockdown conditions? Kasi kami ay nasa lockdown. So, I'm not sure if all the other regions are also on lockdown. Ayan. So, naka-ECQ ulit kami dito sa Metro Manila. And magkakaroon pa ng mga bubbles as I've read this morning. Pero hindi ko pa alam yung bubbles na yon. So, magbasa na lang po kayo ng news. Okay. Next is cheerfulness. Okay, another food for thought. Paano ba nagiging cheerful ang isang tao on a regular basis? Okay? Kasi, di ba cheerfulness is, ang Tagalog is masayahin. Masayahin, di ba? Paano ba tayo nagiging masayahin? Sa totoo lang, ang mga Pilipino, masayahin tayo in general. Or at least, siguro by region, hindi ko alam, no? I mean, I've been exposed to different parts of the Philippines. And yet, I'm not exposed, as long as I was staying in the Bicol region. So I can only speak for my region. I stayed there for like 25 years of my life. So I just like last year. Hindi, joke lang. 25 years. Okay, so 25 years of my life, nandoon ako sa Bicol. So, lahat ng klase ng bagyo, diba? Bagyo, baha, lindol, Mayon, kasi malapit kami sa Bulkang Mayon. If you're not familiar with Albay province, maybe you're familiar with the volcano. So yung Mount Mayon, yun maraming troubles din na dala yun. Although napakaganda niyan tignan, pero it can also be destructive. Pero ang nakagisnan ko in my hometown, even though we are having so many disasters, natural disasters, after every disaster, makikita mo nagtatawanan yung mga tao, may mga nawalan ng bubong, tapos magjo-joke-joke pa sila, "Oy, yung bubong ko, kung nasan ka man," yung mga gano'n. That's the community that I grew up in. So talagang by nature, yung nakita ko doon, talagang mga cheerful yung mga tao. Mamasayahin talaga. Minsan nga, di ba, kahit sa mga videos, makikita natin, yung mga Pinoy, ginagawa nalang joke-joke yung mga, joke-joke yung mga pangyayari sa paligid natin kahit na sobrang nahihirapan tayo. Also, they call it resilience. But, being masayahin is not totally dependent on on your situation, on what you currently have. Sometimes, or what you currently don't have. Kasi kung lagi mong sinasabi na magiging masaya ka lang or magiging masayahin ka lang kapag na-achieve mo to, yung masyadong conditional, yung kaligayahan mo, kailangan marami kang ma-achieve bago ka sumaya. Paano kung tomorrow, mategi bombs ka na? What if you die tomorrow and you spent your entire day complaining about the things that you don't even have? Instead of focusing on things that you actually have, right? And I always ask this sa mga classes ko. When I ask people, what do you have that you didn't pray for? Ang tagal sumagot ng mga tao. Napansin ko yon. So ngayon, tatanungin ko ulit kayo, what do you have that you didn't pray for? Think about those things. Kasi para sumaya ka sa mga panahong to, ano yung mga nasa buhay mo ngayon na hindi mo pinagdasal pero meron ka? Kasi actually, sa totoo lang, mas marami yon kesa sa mga bagay na wala ka. So, cheerfulness or pagiging masayahin, it should not be dependent on the things that you currently don't have, but focus more on the things that you actually have. And sometimes, na-overlook pa natin, di ba? So, basahin ulit natin yung mga comments. Ang daming comments. Thank you po sa active natin tonight. Sometimes it depends on how the second party treated the first party, sir. Yes, that's so true. From Ma'am Narisa, every Sunday lang ang lockdown namin dito. Okay. Parang gusto ko yung idea yung every Sunday lang. Just be satisfied in who you are, what you are, and of what you have in life, and sureness, you are always happy time to time. That's true. Doc Iya, what's your quick answer? Sige, PM mo ko. Ayan. So, I believe so po. Sir Aquino, I believe yes po. Ayan. So, marami pong nanonood sa mga North and South po pala tayo. Sa mga taga-North po, magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. I believe marami pong nanonood na taga-North. And sa South naman, maraming salamat po. As far as Mindanao, may mga nanonood po. Thank you so much. And I know that there are people who are silent in the audience who are watching from abroad. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Please feel free to post your comments where you're watching from. Kung nahiya kayo, okay lang din. Doc Iya, that's so kind of you. Thank you. And I'm really happy for you too. Okay. So, cheerfulness. Another food for thought. Sir Aquino, thank you. Good evening din po. Ayan. So, another food for thought is defeat. Okay, bakit positive thought yung defeat? Wait lang, ayusin nga natin to kasi konti na lang mamamaalam na yung camera ko. Baka mauna pa siyang mamaalam kesa sa akin. Ay, gumagalaw yung camera ko. Okay, so another thing that you have to think about is defeat. Parang contradictory lagi, no? Lagi kong sinasabi na, think about success. But tonight, I'm saying that you should also think about defeat. Most of the time, we are so happy with our successes that sometimes it gets into our head. Masyado tayong, ano ba tawag doon? Parang nagiging airheads tayo. Kasi, alam natin, sobrang successful natin, ganyan-ganyan. You know what? According to my mentor, sabi niya sa akin, it's easier to be successful and be arrogant about it than be defeated and be humble. Hindi ko talaga naintindihan yon until such time that I experienced several defeats. Doon ko na-realize na, mas marami pala akong matututunan sa defeats kesa sa success ko. Because defeat will always teach you something that success will never teach you. That's humility. So, defeat. Bakit ba yung mga tao takot na takot sa defeat, takot na takot sa failure, takot na takot mag-fail, takot na takot matalo? Ano bang meron sa winning? Okay? Winning is actually just a result of the things that you worked hard for. It's just a result. It's something that you cannot control. Okay? It's something that you cannot control. So if you win or you lose, that's not within your control. But what can you control? Your efforts in doing it. So kung manalo ka, that's great. That's a bonus kasi pagkatapos mong ibigay ang lahat-lahat, ang best mo, nanalo ka. Pero what if binigay mo yung lahat-lahat pero defeated ka? Then you should learn something about that defeat. And tonight, I'm encouraging you, think about all the defeats in your life. Ano yung naituro sa inyo ng defeat na hindi ninyo natutunan nung naging successful kayo sa mga endeavors ninyo? Defeat will teach you something that success will never teach you. That's humility. Because defeat keeps you grounded. Minsan, kapag sa tingin ko, kasi syempre, di ba, minsan andali talagang maging full of yourself. Yung parang proud na proud ka sa sarili mo. May ganun, di ba? Yung parang tuwang-tuwa ka, ganyan. Pero pag-iisipin mo yung lahat ng mga failures na pinagdaanan mo, it keeps you grounded. It makes you feel human. Na, okay, may mga defeats din naman pala ako bago ko naabot yung success ko. And then it makes you feel human again. It makes you feel normal again. It makes you not compare yourself with other people. Kasi, at one point in your life, natalo ka din. Diba? Well, mga ibang ayaw umamin, pero ako, I'm so open about it. I've been defeated so many times. I've failed so many times, and I still fail sometimes. But, and I'm happy about it. Diba? Kasi, yun, part talaga siya ng life. Part talaga siya ng life natin. We cannot go away from that. Okay, from May. Hi, May! Thank you so much for tuning in. Agree. Be grateful for what you have. You will eventually realize that what you have right now are just the things you really need to be happy. We just tend to overlook them. That's so true. Hello po. Ma'am Tim, good evening po. Thank you so much. Doc, binigay ko naman ang lahat-lahat. I failed, I gained experience. That's true, diba? Oh, yeah, you bleed just to know you're alive. Parang gusto kong kantahin yan. That's actually my favorite song of all time. Yan. I think kinanta ko siya one time sa podcast episode dahil wala lang, trip ko lang. Ano to? Ma'am Kla, bumangon at magsimulang muli. Harapin ng may paniniwalang kaya ka ito, Ma'am Ice. Sabi, thank you so much, Ma'am Kla. Ma'am Kla, baka naman. I-PM kita mamaya. May sasabihin ako. Thank you so much for tuning in. And for your contributions to this conversation. Okay, so next. Also, along defeat. Kasi sabi ko, recently, kasi syempre, tinitingnan ko din yung mga comments, ganyan. Iniisip ko din yung mga comments dito sa channel, ganyan. In fairness naman, karamihan naman positive. Pero minsan, parang feeling ko, defeated ako kasi parang konti lang yung nanonood. Alam niyo yun, nararamdaman ko rin yun. And this is real talk. Sabi ko, ba't ganon? Parang konti lang yung nanonood. Parang hindi ko nare-reach yung purpose ko. And then, one of my mentors told me this. For as long as there is one person na nanonood sa channel mo at na-enlighten yung taong yon dahil sa sinabi mo, you are not defeated. I'm like, that's really touching. I almost cried during that day. So, remember this, feeling mo minsan defeated ka kasi meron tayo, iba-iba yung natin iba-iba yung pananaw natin sa success. Pero yung mga tao sa paligid natin, they still see us as someone successful. But again, depende kasi yan sa metrics ng success mo. Ano ba yung measurement mo ng success? Baka nga sobrang taas sobrang taas ng standards mo. And there's nothing wrong with standards. Everybody has to have standards. We are a society of decent human beings, of morally right human beings. We have to be morally right, so we have standards. We have to be legally right, so we have standards. There is nothing wrong, absolutely nothing wrong with standards. However, when those standards that we set for ourselves, sobrang taas na parang we are almost trying so hard to be perfect sa paningin natin, doon tayo nagkakaproblema. Kaya tayo na-frustrate. Kasi minsan tayo mismo, medyo din tayo ano pa tawag doon? Yung street word na narinig ko dito sa Kamaynilaan. Parang aning-aning din tayo. Tayo mismo ang masyadong OA mag-push sa sarili natin. But remember, we are humans. We have certain limitations. Yes, we do not accept limitations, but sometimes those limitations are what make us human. And again, kung ayaw mong tanggapin yung limitations mo, that's also okay. But if you fail just because of that limitation, that doesn't make you less of a person. Hindi ka mababawasan kung nag-fail ka. Kung ano ba tawag nito? Yung mga exams, 'di ba? Yung mga exams sa school, hindi mababawasan yung pagiging tao mo dahil lang bumagsak ka sa exam mo sa school, or dahil hindi ka pumasa sa interview mo para sa job interview mo. That doesn't make you less of a person. If hindi ka na-promote kasi dahil sa sa workplace ninyo, may mas nauna sa'yo, may mas magaling sa ano ba tawag doon? May mas magaling sa in terms of performance kaysa sa'yo, that doesn't make you less of a person. It's just that during that time ng assessment, sila yung sobrang mas ready kaysa sa'yo. But it doesn't make you less of a person. Remember that. Stop comparing yourself with other people because it's not gonna make sense for you and it's only gonna hurt so bad na mas mahirap i-cure. From Ma'am Tim, yes, it's true po, Ma'am Ice. Kahit isa lang nakikinig, na-inspire ka pa din. Oh, thank you. Thank you po. That's so kind. Thank you. Okay, another thing. And I guess, I guess I've been speaking for a lot na naman. Tuwang-tuwa na naman ako magsalita. Ayan. So, in general, yung food for thought natin is, in summary, I'd like to emphasize this. Kasi sinulat ko to, actually, pinakauna kong sinulat. What's to love about life? So recently, we have been having lockdowns. We have been having so many stressors sa paligid natin. Ang daming nasa paligid natin na talagang kung hindi malakas yung ano ba tawag doon, yung paniniwala mo sa mga bagay-bagay, talagang nakaka-demoralize siya. Siguro malulungkot tayo. Ako nga, actually, nalulungkot ako recently. Sa totoo lang ha. Before the lockdown happened, I have been talking to several random people in the groceries, sa Grab, ganyan, mga tao sa paligid ko. Nakikipag-usap ako randomly. And whenever I talk to them, I realize na para-pareho lang naman pala talaga yung problema ng tao, no? Pagdating ng lockdown. Is not only the mobility, not only the freedom, but also the uncertainty that this pandemic is bringing to all of our lives. Lahat tayo merong uncertainty na kinakaharap. Whether it's health, it's our livelihood, our jobs, our businesses, kung ano pa man, 'di ba? Lahat tayo may uncertainty. But sa totoo lang, kahit naman walang pandemic, there's nothing certain about this world. Nothing certain about this world. So ano nga ba yung kinaka-worry natin? Uncertainties. But sabi nga, di ba sa Bible, I really love this biblical verse. Sino ba sa atin dito ang kaka-worry na dagdagan yung buhay natin? Di ba? Who among us ever worried and added a single day to our lives? Kung nag-worry ka ba, nadadagdagan yung buhay mo, humahaba ba yung buhay mo kaka-worry? Well, may bang sagot ninyo, pag hindi naman din ako nag-worry, hindi naman din nahaba yung buhay ko? Oo. Hindi natin masasabi yan. Pero, at least hindi ka na-obsess sa pag-worry at sumaya yung mundo mo kahit papano, di ba? What's to love about life? Life is so full of uncertainties, and if you are having a hard time right now, if you are having negative thoughts, I'm telling you this, it's okay to have negative thoughts. I'm not telling you to turn them around. But somehow, while you're listening to this, I also encourage you to somehow think of a positive thought. Kahit isa lang. Kahit isa lang about life in general. Okay, so marami kang thoughts, marami kang negative thoughts. Puro negative, puro negative. Okay lang yan, sige. Pagbigyan natin, di ba? Pero, tonight, bago ka matulog, kahit mag-isip ka, kahit isa lang talaga, isang-isa lang, positive thought that makes you really happy. Ako, every day, ang dami ko naisip na positive thoughts. Minsan nga, sobrang mababaw lang sila. Like, naisip ko lang gusto kong kumain ng ice cream. As in, ganyan na lang kabababaw. Kasi sabi ko, isipin ko lagi kung mamatay ba ako mamayang gabi, mamamatay akong masaya. Kakaisip ko ng kung ano-ano. Mamayang gabi, pag namatay ako, ano yung last thought na meron ako? Gugustuhin ko bang mamatay sa sama ng loob? Di ba meron tayong kasabihan in Tagalog na, naku, mamamatay ako sa sama ng loob. Gusto ba natin yon? Or gusto ba natin na, as we go along, we are having this positive thoughts? Somehow, kahit isa lang, pa-isa-isa lang per day. Okay, so paano yun? Paano yun, Irene? Masyado pa ring mahirap mag-isip ng positive thought, lalong-lalo na pag may pinagdadaanan ako. Okay, let me tell you this. You have 24 hours in a day. 24 hours. 24 long hours. Okay? So, ngayon, sabi mo, wala kang time mag-isip ng positive. Okay lang yun. Pero, magsasuggest ako ha. Hindi ko sure kung gagawin mo, pero magsasuggest ako ng something that you can do. Bukas, pagising mo, give yourself 30 seconds to think of a positive thought. Kahit 30 seconds lang. Bago ka bumangon, 30 seconds of your 24 hours that you have in a day, 30 seconds, please think of something positive about your life. What's to love about our lives? Ang dami. Well, siguro may magsasabi kasi sa totoo lang may mga nagme-message sa akin, sabi nila hindi sila masaya sa family nila, hindi sila masaya sa marriage nila, may problema sila sa kids nila, may problema sila sa trabaho, may nakaaway sila sa work. But that's part of life. All I'm saying is, allocate 30 seconds every single day. 30 seconds na lang yun maiksi, sobrang maiksi na lang yun. At kung nahahabaan kayo sa 30 seconds, try nyo mag-planking for 30 seconds. Doon nyo marirealize na mahaba yung 30 seconds. Okay? So, 30 seconds every single day, pagising ninyo, thank you Lord for kung ano man yung gusto nyo idagdag. Every single day, for 30 seconds, or even less, kasi pag sinabi mo, thank you Lord for my life, parang 2 seconds lang yun, o diba? 24 hours, and yet we keep on complaining for 23 hours and a half. How about, at least for 30 seconds in your 24 hours, meron kang may isip na something positive? It's never too late to think about something positive in your life. And if you believe nakukulangan ka sa mga positive words, ganyan, you can also visit my previous episode. I talked about words that can change your life. I think that was Monday. Monday yata yung podcast episode. Sino yung... Andiyan pa yung mga nanood nung Monday. Nung Monday, podcast episode ko is words that can change your life for the better. Panoorin ninyo yon. Kahit doon kayo magsimula, pwede na. Okay, you don't really have to start grand. You just have to start and that's it. Ayan. From Ma'am Nita, just looking around you and seeing your family every day is giving you happiness. Yeah, that's true. Just look around because you never know. Baka yung mga bagay na nirereklamo mo at the end of your life, baka yun pala yung pinaka-importante sa'yo. So think about it. Always look at the bright side of life, no matter how dark it can get. Okay? So, also, I found this pala. I really love this quote, although I forgot kung sino nagsulat nito. Another thing pala that bothers us every day or, constantly is trying to prove to everyone that we are a good person. Okay? So, I'll share this quote with you because I really like it. Be a good person, but don't waste your time trying to prove it. Isa sa mga constant din na nagbobother sa atin is kasi ganito, baka may na-offend ka, ganito, ganyan, ganyan. Well, kung may na-offend ka, mag-sorry ka. Don't make it so complicated. If people think that you are not the person that they think you are, or perhaps they're thinking na hindi ka mabait, hindi ka ganito, hindi ka ganyan, that's their thoughts. You cannot change them. You can be a good person and you don't have to prove yourself to anyone for as long as you know that you're doing the right thing. And yes, sabi nga ni Ma'am Nita, just be you. You don't have to prove yourself to anyone. If at all gusto mo i-prove yung sarili mo, well, prove it to yourself. Prove yourself to yourself. That's a very good cause as well. Kasi again, when we are improving ourselves, when we are constantly improving ourselves, we are also improving the way we communicate with other people, the way we treat other people, and the way we manifest our actions towards other people. So, focus on improving yourself that you don't have time to criticize others. Isa din yan sa mga lagi kong inaalala kapag gusto kong manlait. Diba? O, yan na naman, real talk tayo kasi baka isipin nyo masyado tayo mapagpanggap. Siyempre, nalalait din naman tayo paminsan-minsan. Pero it's only in our thoughts. But, when you're constantly obsessed with improving yourself, you will never have time on criticizing other people. Don't iya. Diba? Hobby natin yan. Oh. Pero, again, always focus on improving your life for the better. And hindi naman forget, pero just recognize your fears, and yet you have to do whatever you need to do anyway. Just do it. Yan, para tuloy akong brand. Anyway, I hope you learned a thing or two from our podcast episode tonight. I really had fun. By the way, I'd like to apologize to those who watched last night and I wasn't able to recognize them. Kasi minsan pala, may mga comments na hindi ko nababasa sa live, pero meron talagang nagpo-post na nanonood ng mga live audience. So if just in case hindi ko nabasa yung comments ninyo, please siguro send it like 3 times para makita ko sa live broadcast. Kasi yung iba nakikita ko yung comments, parang hindi naman sila nanood hindi sila replay, live audience din sila, pero hindi ko nabasa yung comment nila during the time na live pa ako. Yes, isipin mo pagising mo sa umaga, another blessing na naman ang binigay ni God sa'yo at muli kang binigyan ni God ng panibagong buhay. That's so true. Thank you, Ma'am Vilma. Thank you so much for. Is it your first time to watch? Thank you for tuning in. Ayan. Thank you everyone. And of course, if you feel that this video podcast has helped you out or resonated with you, or you think that this video will also be able to help another person who you believe is walking through a dark tunnel, well, baka ito yung kailangan niyang marinig. We never know, diba? So, please feel free to share the video, and you can also tag the page para makita ko rin po yung mga shares ninyo. And if you have any recommended topics that you want me to talk about or somebody else to talk about it, please let me know. Okay? Kasi lagi naman tayong open sa mga comments and suggestions, and especially we are doing this not for me but for you. So mag-recommend po kayo ng mga topics and we'll do our best. So my team and I will do our best to research about the topics and research for the right person to talk about the topic that you have requested. So thank you everyone. Thank you, Ma'am Cla. God bless you too. Ma'am Nita, thank you. You added positive thoughts to my love. Thank you so much. At kinilig ako doon. Thank you, Ma'am Nita. We will be having you soon. Thank you po. Thank you. Alright, again, everyone, stay on the bright side of life because, cliche na yung sinasabi nilang life is short, but sasabihin ko na lang sa inyo from the perspective of a millennial, You only live once. So you deserve to have a good life. You deserve to have a happy life. You deserve to give love, and you also deserve to receive love. What's to love about life? Well, as I mentioned several times in previous podcast episodes, for as long as you can feel your heartbeat, that's the best thing to love about life itself. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe, stay healthy, and God bless you all. This is Ivorine, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye!